I want you to picture this. You're wandering past Fatal Fields having the absolute time of your life just to get absolutely stomped on by a sweaty tryhard soccer skin that pushes you with not a single care in the world. Now I bring this up as a hypothetical, but it's simply not a fictional statement. Now wkeying has been around since the dawn of time in Fortnite, but as more and more people are getting aware of the advanced mechanics to master Fortnite at the highest level, getting wkeyed is happening now more than ever. But fear not, ladies and gentlemen, because today I'm going to give you guys my top tips to counter wkeying. After this video is over, you're gonna start sending wkeyers back to the lobby and making them look like absolute fools in the process. So you know the drill, buckle up, get ready for the video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Over 95% of you guys aren't subscribed yet, and I make this content just for you guys. And of course, if you're excited for the rest of the video, make sure to leave a like. It helps me get promoted more, so you guys are doing me a big favor. So with that said, let's get right into the video. Alrighty guys, we're gonna talk about our first tip, which is going to be to embrace the wkey. Now I agree, this may sound a little bit counterintuitive at first, but I want you guys to hear me out here. When someone wkeys you, they really bank on the fact that you are going to run away, you're going to get nervous, you're going to panic, and you're not going to make the best decision possible. Specifically, when you try to force the disengagement of a wkey, they get really easy tags on you and sets them up to even push you harder. And this applies to no matter if you're playing pubs, arena, or even if you're playing in the biggest tournament of your life. Because if you're not fully invested to the fight, well, your opponent is fully invested to the fight, and they're going to give it their all to fight you. Plus, sometimes you'll get your desired outcome of not getting wkeyed simply by standing your ground and taking one good shot at your opponent. The saying, offense is your best defense, is kind of correct in this case, because if you pop someone for 100 damage, they're gonna stop, they're gonna heal, and give you time to actually disengage. And now, if you've hit your opponent for that much, go for the kill, of course, but you do have the option to disengage if you so desire. Regardless, the rest of this video builds on the concept that you guys have to embrace the fight and stand your ground if you need to, because if you don't do that, then the rest of this video is pointless. Now that leads us directly to tip number 2, control the situation. But what does it exactly mean to control the situation? Well, think about it logically, guys. If someone's wkeying you, the best way that they can kill you is if they are in close proximity of you, if they take one of your walls, if they take your roof, and then they pull out their shotgun and they get an easy elimination. Our goal should be to counter that by taking proper piece control. Remember, if you're getting wkeyed, it's a life and death situation, so you need to be prepared to use as much builds and as much assets in your inventory before you go down. This means that you're probably going to have to make multiple 1x1s. Don't stinge out on the mats, because those mats are there to save your life. Now tell me this, what's the good of having a bunch of mats if you're not alive to be able to use them? If you die with a bunch of mats in your inventory, you just look like a fool, so you might as well go ahead, be generous with them, because it could save your life. And funnily enough, guys, you'd be giving all those mats and materials and heals, whatever the case may be, you're giving all of that to the person that's wkeying you, the person that's making your life hell to begin with. Sure, it might feel wasteful in the moment, but overbuilding, and I put air quotes around overbuilding, is one of the most useful things you could do in this scenario, because if you have more builds, the person wkeying you doesn't know if you're in this box, that box, another box, and you can easily go between boxes that are already pre-built, which also pre-built walls take multiple pickaxe swings to fully break, meaning that your wkeyer is going to be even more delayed and even more dissuaded to actually finish up the elimination. Alrighty guys, so for the next tip, I'm actually going to take you guys to the creative test environment so we could talk about some more mechanical tips that you can use in conjunction with the previous tips I gave you to give you a really well understanding of how we're going to deal with these pesky wkeyers. Alrighty guys, so the first mechanical tip that I'm going to give you guys is called the 2-layer of separation rule. Now what does this look like? Okay, so let's say we got someone wkeying you from this direction and they're on this wall, okay? Now the 2-layer of separation rule mandates that if you don't want to take the fight, if the fight isn't ideal for you to take, so let's say popping this edit doesn't seem like an ideal situation for you for whatever reason, and you're not looking to engage right there, go ahead and put a second layer of separation between you and your opponent, wherever he's at, just to make his life more difficult and so that he'll never have a clear angle on you based on breaking only one wall. So once again, if he's looking at you from that stair, how are we going to put a second layer of separation? One idea is putting a stair up here, giving you the ability to edit through the back, through the side, through the other side, or through the top. You have 2 layers of separation between the wall that he's trying to take. Another one that I like to use is the backward stair. You can place it by placing a regular stair, then editing it backwards. Or what I like to do in a real game scenario, instead of having to rotate the stair doing a second edit, you can turn around and look down and you can place a stair. The idea is that regardless, you're putting that second layer of separation between you and your opponent when you don't feel comfortable with the circumstances at which you're facing him. If you don't feel comfortable with taking the engagement, taking the shot right then and there, you put a second layer of separation, and then you find a way out. Typically what I like to do is, especially if you've had build fought the opponent, you're up a few layers like I am right now, the easiest thing for you to do to get even more separation between you and your opponent is editing this floor right here. You have that second layer of separation for a reason. Now you went down a layer. Not only do you have those 2 layers of separation from above, but you've also disorientated your opponent with the idea that you're going vertically, not just horizontally. You're dropping down levels. Now you could either go down more, you can run to the side. Either way, you're making a new box. You now have some actual physical distance of separation between you and your opponent, and you also have a little bit of extra time if you want to pop heals or just put yourself in a better position in general. Now, another way to give yourself that second layer of separation, you don't only have to use ramps, you could also use cones. And I actually like using cones a lot because you're going to use cones in box fights a lot, so you might as well get used to how to use them in a proper way to prevent wkeying. Now, the reason why I like cones is specifically because you can edit them into quarters, meaning that if you want to give yourself even more protection when you're trying to drop a layer, you can make the edit to that you only have one corner pushing you to the bottom, meaning that if you are looking from either of 2 directions, I'm still fully protected. Whereas if you had a ramp, you're only protected from one side. So if you toss down a cone, edit one tile, you can edit down and get out of there. And whatever you want to do after that, you can either go for height, you can do whatever, you can pop your heals. You're giving yourself that second layer to allow yourself to get out of that spot. And just one more thing to note, the reason why the second layer of separation rule really helps is because if you're not ready to take a fight and someone wkeying you takes your wall, well, guess what they're going to do? If they have any skill at all, they just took your wall, they're going to edit, place that cone in your box, place a ramp in your box, do something to take that piece in your box, meaning that you have no control what's happening inside of your box. So you have to get proactive and place that cone yourself before they do, edit that cone, and now you're out of there, out of sight, out of mind. Now we need to talk about the other aspect of combating wkeyers, how to actually kill them. Because we've talked about how to get away from them, how to manage them, how to separate yourself from them, but we haven't specifically talked about the root problem, how to get them back to the lobby so you can enjoy the rest of your game. Now it's simple because, you might be intimidated by a wkeyer, but really they're putting themselves in a very vulnerable spot for a brief moment. Think about it like this, right? If someone wants to break your wall, if they have a pump shotgun, they can't just hold their pump out the entire time and wait for you to edit. That means they're either pulling out their pickaxe, they're pulling out their AR, they're shooting the wall, they're pickaxing the wall, they're doing something to try to take control of the pieces that you already have. Now, the moment that they pull out a pickaxe, they pull out an AR, they pull out an SMG, whatever they pull out, if they don't have their shotgun out, you're gonna deal more damage to them because you're gonna be the first person to have your shotgun out. So instead of making an edit when they have their shotgun out, I want you to look for the moment that they pull out their pickaxe. If they pull out their pickaxe, that's the instant green light for you to pop an edit on them. Now you can pop a peanut butter edit, you can pop a window edit, you could use the tip from our last box fighting video where you go and place the cone and get out of there. Either way, when they have their pickaxe or not their shotgun out, anything other than their shotgun, they're in a vulnerable position. You need to take advantage of a wkeyer when they don't have their shotgun out, because if they take your wall, then they put a cone in your box, you're already dead. I mean, they just have to hit their shots. Unless they choke, you're dead. So you need to be proactive and fight the problem before the problem fights you. And once again, if you're willing to pop an edit out on them when they don't have their shotgun out, hit them big time. You hit them good. Well, now you have a free pass like we talked about earlier in the video. You can disengage now. If you hit them big, they back off. They're going to heal over here. Well, now you could just get the hell out of dodge, man. You could dip. By the time they heal, you're going to be 50, 60 meters away. You can get on high ground. You can climb up a hill. I recommend definitely looking for that natural high ground, that natural soft cover, because then that becomes incredibly difficult for them to continue pursuing you with wkeying. And if they keep pushing you, if you put yourself in a position of high ground, go up a hill and then you base up, for example, well, now if they want to push you, boom, you're AR spamming them when they come up the hill, baby. So either way, this all connects to standing your ground, knowing when to push back, and putting yourself in the most optimal position to deal damage. So in conclusion, I believe that your mindset is truly half the battle when dealing with wkeyers. Standing your ground and taking the fight like a man is usually going to be your way out. Given that your opponent has the burden of getting into your builds, they're always going to leave themselves somewhat vulnerable and give you the opportunity to get an elimination. Knowing the proper techniques to separate yourself when you need to and get yourself closer to your opponent when you need to is going to give you the dexterity and tools needed to win your fights more consistently. And finally, if you guys are only going to take one thing from this video, it's just to never give up during the fight, guys. Use all of your resources at hand, because at the end of the day, if you die, you're going to die putting up a fight, and you're going to die giving your opponent less resources than they would have had otherwise. So make sure to use all your builds, drink all your heals, and fight the good fight, soldier. With that said, of course, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. The support has been so insane, guys. We just passed 2,000 subscribers, which makes me so unbelievably happy. So continue showing that support, and I'll be sure to continue posting this kind of content. With that said, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.